This is the BF Goodrich KO3, the most anticipated new tire of 2023. I mean, early 2024. Or actually, we're just getting an update. It looks like the second half of 2024. Actually, my best guess is just when we all give up on it coming out and buy other tires, that's exactly when it's going to come out probably. Which is a bummer because it's a pretty good tire. In the meantime, we've tested all of these other tires and some of them are good tires as well. If you're new here, my name's Nathan Mueller. Welcome to Outdoor Auto. This channel is all about getting people off-road and outside to explore the outdoors. We've done extensive testing and detailed reviews on most of these individual tires, and you can find those videos on our channel. In today's video, I'm answering your most asked tire question, which is what tire am I actually going to use on my rigs? Well, Outdoor Auto is currently running 5 different vehicles, and we've got 2 more top secret builds in the works right now. So I'm going to tell you what tire I'm going to run on each of those and why I chose it. The 2018 Tundra. So this truck has a 5.7 liter V8. It is running at about 550 horsepower because it has a supercharger on it. We are running a Camberg long travel system. So this truck is made to go fast and handle really big bumps really well. Sure, it can do a lot of the trails in Moab, but more often than not, it is running trails, going camping with the family, going on long overland trips. It's our preferred family overland rig and makes periodic trips all the way down to Baja every single year. So for this car, for the winter, we do use a dedicated set of General Grabber ATXs that are studded. Now I get that a lot of states you can't even have studded tires. So we have that on the winter up here in Idaho when the roads are icy and you're trying to get up to the ski hill. As soon as the winter ends, we tend to switch it over to a summer set of tires. The summer set of tires that we're going to be moving to is the actual Falken Wild Peak AT4Ws. Now there's a couple reasons for that. One is that the snow doesn't seem to be going away. And when you're up on those Forest Service roads up in the mountains, you can encounter snow drifts all the way into June and July sometimes in Idaho. So we still wanted a tire that could handle the snow, even though we're about to ditch the studs, because I'm going to be on a trip in the next 2 weeks down to Moab and down to Sand Hollow, and I don't want to do all those miles on the highways just wearing my studs down to nothing. A couple reasons why we went with the Falken Wild Peak. First of all, they did beef it up for heavier trucks. So the Tundra is a full-size truck, so they do really well for full-size trucks. They beefed up the sidewall to a true 3-ply sidewall that's reinforced, so I think that that's going to do really well in Baja this year. You know, at the same time, it's still good for snow and wet roads, which is awesome for all the road trips because we'll do some more road trips up to Washington, hopefully getting up to British Columbia this year where it's always raining. So we kind of wanted that off-road tire that's good enough for the desert but also could handle all the water and wet. I don't worry about the weight of the AT4W, even though it is an extremely heavy tire. Let's face it, this is a supercharged V8. It's not getting the best gas mileage, and it has plenty of power to turn those tires, and you're never gonna feel the weight difference. This tire has one of the longest warranties that you can get for mileage on a good AT tire. So that's another reason we're going with it. Okay, real quick, we will cover some of the other vehicles in just a second. I did want to make one point real quick. You need to be airing down your tires to the appropriate pressure, or a lot of the bonuses that I'm talking about with some of these tires won't apply. Just a really quick kind of rule of thumb. This isn't for everyone, depends on your vehicle. But for my vehicles in deep snow, I'm running tires around 3 pounds, like 3 psi in deep powder. In sand, I'm running them around 8 psi. On gravel roads, I'm running them anywhere from like 15 to 22 pounds, depending on how big the potholes are and how bad the washboard is. So those are just some general ranges. Another thing to keep in mind is I'm running the Method bead grip rims on all of my vehicles. I am not sponsored by them. I wish that I was. Method, you should throw me a bone. I love their stuff. I can't seem to ever get a tire to de-bead even when I'm running at those low PSI, so those bead grip rims seem to do a good job holding onto the tire. Now, if you're gonna do all that work to air down your tire, at some point when you're traveling, you have to remember to air back up. If you drive with your deflated tires, the sidewall of your tire will heat up on freeway speeds and you will destroy your tire and you will eventually have a blowout or premature failure of that tire. For airing up, Fanttik was actually nice enough to send me this and sponsor today, because buying all these tires is super expensive to be able to test them. So they watched some of our tire videos and they said they'd come along and help us out actually. So they sponsored this, helped us buy some more tires. They sent us this awesome device. This is the Fanttik X9 Ultra. It's their AeroCore pump. So what this is a battery pack. So you actually can use this to like power your laptop or charge your drone or your phone. Powers anything up to 65 watts, which is the cutoff would be like your MacBook Pros. You have a built-in pump to air up your car, and then it's one of those digital ones, so you can set it to like 40 pounds and then just walk away and it will automatically turn off at 40 psi, which is super rad. The other thing about this is I've actually had a couple different companies want to sponsor me or send me these to review, and I didn't do anything with any of them because when I tested them, they failed. This one in this bag right here, which I will not say the name brand of, is one of those examples. They sent it to me and said it was good for trucks. Well, I of course tested it. I aired down my tire to 22 pounds, all 4 of them, and then I tried to air them all 4 up with this, and it was dead on the 3rd tire. Not only that, it took over 10 minutes to air up 1 tire. So that would have left me stranded, because I would have had 3 tires aired up, 1 not aired up, and then I would have had to drive the highway all the way back to like a gas station. I would have destroyed a tire. So it's important to test these things. I went ahead, I tested this one. I was actually able to air up 20 tires. At 20 tires, I just stopped because I kind of figured at 20 tires, it's enough tires for me to know that I'm in good shape. So that's pretty impressive. The other thing that was nice is when you're using this to air up your tires at night, it has a built-in flashlight. How cool is that? So you actually have a flashlight. It's got like an ambient glow right here. And then it also has the 2 like laser beam ones that are like spotlights. So you can see really far for some reason you needed to. More than anything, I'm also just thankful to Fanttik for stepping up and helping us make more tire videos. With that in mind, we're gonna go ahead and jump back into the tires. I'll tell you one last thing. When you are airing up your tires, you don't have to worry about the cord that always gets tangled, because this thing just stashes right into the bottom of the machine, and it's super easy and it's super fast. So check these guys out. There's a link in the description. I've got a coupon for you guys if you want to check them out. But if nothing else in the comments, tell them thank you. They're helping us buy more tires, to test more tires for you guys.
Next car up is the 80 Series Lexus LX 450. Now this is the Rocklander build that was from Dirt Lifestyle. When we bought this, it came with a set of Destination mudders on it from Firestone, the MT2s. While they're excellent mud tires, we immediately took this thing off-road and started doing a bunch of snow wheeling. And when you're snow wheeling, you want a tire that can actually retain some snow, because when you're in the deep powder, the snow that your tire retains actually sticks better than the rubber does. So we immediately had to switch out the tires. And also on your way to getting up to deep snow to go in, a lot of times you're driving on ice. So we wanted something that could handle icy and wet roads. We actually went ahead and went with the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs. Obviously we went with the ATs because we wanted something with a tiny bit tighter tread pattern that could actually retain some snow, but we wanted it to be as close to a mud tire as possible, because we're definitely going to be doing some rock trips with this later on this year, and we wanted a tire that we could just stick on it and forget it for the whole entire year. Nate from Dirt Lifestyle, I don't know if he coined the term Rocklander, but somebody did. And it's essentially a car that's very capable to do rock crawling, like, the Rubicon, or, very hard rock trails down in Moab. But at the same time, it's fully capable of driving there. So you don't have to put it on a trailer. And that's exactly how we use it. It's definitely coming down to Utah this year to do some trails down there. So we've got it all set up with the Baja Boss ATs. The reason that we went with those, first of all, the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, the carcass of that tire is exactly the same as their mud terrain tire. So it is a very strong and durable tire with an incredibly strong sidewall. It's got incredibly aggressive tread on the sidewall. So when you air down, you get that extra grip for rock crawling and, deep snow wheeling. And then on top of that, it has a pretty good lug pattern on the outer edges for gripping rock, very similar to a mud terrain tire. Yet in the middle, it has that tighter pattern that helps you on your road trips. It helps you get better gas mileage, and it makes it get better handling and less noise. I really love this tire. Now, it has a pretty short mileage warranty compared to other all-terrain tires, but that's because it is so aggressive, and it's an all-terrain tire that leans a lot closer to a mud terrain. But this is one of my most favorite super aggressive all-terrain tires. So this is gonna have a long life on this Lexus, and I wouldn't be surprised if after it's done and wore out, we replaced it with the exact same tire again. All right, let's talk about the 70 Series Land Cruiser Troopy. Now, this thing gets the spotlight a ton, but it actually shares quite a bit in common with the Banderanci. The Banderanci is not a Land Cruiser, but lots of people want to argue about that. If you are curious what a Toyota Banderanci is, you should watch this video. We go into the full history of it. It's one of the crazier stories of Toyota's history. Anyhow, as far as tires go, and what these two vehicles have in common is that for the modern era that we live in now, with freeways where the speed limit goes all the way up to 85 miles per hour, both of these vehicles are underpowered. If you're running an overloaded Tacoma or even one of the 4Runners with one of the smaller engine options, you're probably finding yourself in the same shape. And the big important thing to do here is to not go and get an incredibly massive tire that is super, super heavy. A lot of people also that are upgrading things like a Subaru for off-roading and overlanding, same thing. Those cars can't handle a heavy tire. You just don't have enough power to go around. In their case, you're probably gonna blow up your transmission too. So you need a very good all-terrain tire. You need a strong all-terrain tire that you're not gonna destroy on all those rock roads and rip sidewalls, but you need it to not weigh a lot. And this is where the BFG Goodrich KO2 and KO3 shine. We're currently running the KO2 on the Troopy right now, and when that wears out, we will probably replace that with a KO3. Same thing for the Banderanci. You can see in the video, we actually are running a mud tire on it right now, but that's really for show. It's more for like taking it to a car show, and it has a Falcon mud terrain on it.
But the Falcon mud terrain it's really just too heavy for that vehicle for a daily driven vehicle. As we try to turn that into a daily driver and get a 5-speed in it, we want to go to a lighter tire, and that's kind of where the KO2 and the new KO3 obviously can thrive. Now we have the new KO3, we've been able to test it. The problem is it only comes in 2 sizes right now that were shipped on Chevy trucks. So other than those 2 sizes, they're not available to the general public. I like this tire a lot. They did a lot of things to improve this tire. They added a whole lot of siping to it that improves its traction on wet surfaces and then also on snow and ice. They also improved the water channeling on it, so it definitely should do better on wet roads. It's still never going to be the king of wet roads, because you'll notice any tire that is really good at wet roads always has long channels that run top to bottom this way to displace water. This one still has that interlocking tread, but the deal with that interlocking tread is what makes it so good in dry desert situations and on dry surfaces. But the beauty of it is it's super light for how aggressive it is, and yet it's still super strong. Still has 3-ply sidewalls, still one of the strongest carcasses out there available, much, much lighter than, for example, the new Falcon AT4. A couple other things that they did change on it, they gave it a more aggressive looking sidewall, because a lot of people are buying tires based 100% on looks nowadays. And then they changed the compound on it. So the rubber is completely different. It definitely, you can tell, has more silica in it, which is going to change up its performance when it's cold. When it drops below freezing, instead of these things getting as hard as they used to get, they should remain soft and still be able to have some grip. So yeah, the KO2 is what we currently are going to run on the Land Cruiser and the Banderanci. And when those tires run out, what I would love to put on it is the KO3 if it ever actually comes out. Okay, we're almost done. We're gonna cover the Ford shop truck, and then we're gonna get to the 2 secret builds that we're working on. What tires are going on those? First off, on the shop truck, just a really fast note, we do have to off-road this truck because this is the firewood truck. This has to go up in the mountains on some pretty rough roads, cut firewood. So because of that, we do need a fairly aggressive off-road tire. Now, I will bet you anything that our choice will surprise you. We're actually gonna go with the Toyo Open Country AT3s on the shop truck. And the reason for that is that they are an aggressive tire that has a 3-ply sidewall. It really only off-roads in the summer. The rest of the time, it really just tows heavy trailers around town. It doesn't get a lot of miles on it at all. And the Toyo Open Country AT3 is a really good tire that'll last a long time, that costs almost $100 less than any of these other tires that we talked about tonight. It's a really affordable tire. On the Ford, we never ever are going to use that tire up before it eventually just dries out and rots. So putting a cheaper tire on there that will still do a really good job is kind of the goal there. Jumping over to our secret builds that we're doing, one of them is going to be an older vehicle with an older engine that of course is underpowered, so you can probably guess where that's going. That would lean us toward the KO3, where we'd want to have an aggressive tire because it is 4-wheel drive and it's definitely going to go on some 4-wheel drive trips, but it's just not got a lot of power. So yeah, KO3 going with the lighter tire and the dry traction there. For the final top secret build, we talked about this one last week in our Land Cruiser versus the new Lexus GX 550. We're definitely gonna be building one of those here at Outdoor Auto. And for that thing's gonna get a ton of miles on it. It's going to be an overland vehicle for long overland trips. It's not gonna be a rock crawler. So it's gonna be a little bit of a toss-up between the new KO3 or the new Falcon AT4W, and really what would push it over the edge is if it's gonna spend a lot more time in the desert or if it's gonna hit a lot more snow and ice. Snow and ice, I would lean probably towards the Falcon, and for desert and dry traction, I'd lean more towards the KO3. The KO3 does have the miles per gallon edge, so there's a decent chance we'd lean towards that. I would like to get one of those in the bigger size and be able to test it in snow and ice a lot more. So we're still just kind of a wait and see there. But anyhow, you guys saw the title of the video. So KO3 versus the world. We're looking at comparing it to a dozen other tires that we've tried out in this last year and a half. The KO3 shakes out pretty good. There's quite a few vehicles Outdoor Auto that would end up with a KO3 if it was out. But there's also several other tires like the Falcon AT4W that we like for very specific reasons. The Mickey Thompson that we absolutely love for super aggressive situations and rock crawling and snow wheeling. And then even simple utilitarian tires like the Toyo that is just awesome for work trucks. So it doesn't win all the battles, but it definitely wins a few of them. I hope this video was helpful. I literally got asked this question all the time. I do my tire videos to try to teach you how to decide what you're gonna do with your tire and then know what one to pick, but people were still asking me all the time. We understand all that information. We still just wanna know what tires are you actually gonna run on your vehicles. So there you have it. Those are the tires that Outdoor Auto is running for right now. But you know how it goes. We always test more tires. So we'll see what comes next. Thank you for watching.